What is up, y'all? Welcome back and welcome to a fresh Tepid Takes, the series on my channel where we talk about new beauty releases and whether or not I plan to buy them. I will give the disclaimer I always give, and that is when I'm talking about buying makeup or not buying makeup, I'm typically, unless noted otherwise, talking about buying it to test for my channel. I have an encyclopedic stash over here that I use to swatch and compare formulas and colors to help you make the best buying decisions in your makeup journey. Do not try and keep up with me. Do not try and go product for product with me because no one should have this much makeup, period, end of story. So we're going to start over on Makeup on Your Radar. My good friend Jamie really has her ear to the ground over there on new beauty releases even before the brands can announce them. Hi. Post-chemical peel Kackie here. The day that I filmed this, I was able to peruse Makeup on Your Radar, and I did not grab the screenshots because I usually do that when I edit. And yesterday, I don't know where her account went, and I can't get in touch with her. So the screenshots are going to be from Trend Mood to the best of my abilities, but I don't know what happened to Jamie's account. So if y'all know, let me know, but I'm sad. And then we'll go over to Trend Mood, which is, you know, the original hub of this kind of thing, to see if I missed anything. So let's go ahead and jump in. So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because my friend Shelbey Wilson has partnered with Mob Beauty and she has put out two new cream eyeshadows that I just got in PR today. So that will be in a future video. They are totally beautiful. One is kind of a shimmery champagne and the other one is kind of a shimmery chameleon color. It looks sort of like taupe and lavender depending on who is wearing it, and it also shifts in the light. It's really, really beautiful. So that will be in a future video. But jumping right in here, I was completely unaware of this. Apparently, Charlotte Tilbury is collaborating with Reese Witherspoon. And as I'm reading this, it says, something new is coming soon. It's pink and it's scented. And then as you scroll through, it is in the umbrella of Legally Blonde, which honestly, I have to commend Legally Blonde as a franchise for continuing to just crank out iterations and continue making money on that particular idea. I mean, there's a musical, there's a sequel, there's a whatever, who knows what this is, but we're making makeup about it now. And as much as I want to be cynical about it, Charlotte Tilbury collaborating with something that is truly like girly and pink themed, that doesn't feel that off base. Like that doesn't feel as weird as her collaborating with Elton John, for example. I'm never going to let that particular grievance die. Just in case you're curious, I'm never gonna let that die. I can't be too cynical, but I don't think that I would buy this. But then again, I said that about this and I bought these and I love them. So who knows? Maybe if I see it in store, I will be excited about it. Charlotte does continue to kind of push past all of my personal boundaries and just make me too curious to resist her stuff. So as a reviews channel, I do feel like sometimes that's my responsibility. Next, oh my God, have we been waiting for this? It says new makeup release from KOSAS. Blush is life. Football is life. Blush is life talc-free dimensional brightening blush. Clean, silky smooth, talc-free powder blush baked with squalane and hyaluronic acid in dimensional color duos for a healthy flush of color. These look really beautiful. They're sort of marbled. They look a little bit like, I don't know, there are drugstore ones that are marbled like that. Aren't there like Milani ones that are like that? I don't think that it's an insult to a prestige brand to compare them to a Milani baked blush because those are exquisite regardless. Like they are a luxury product at the drugstore, but these colors do look really pretty. It looks like there are going to be 8 shades, and it's really everything from a great like peachy shade and like all the typical things that you would think of, like a peach and a really intense coral, to like a berry and also like a deep purpley wine. And so I feel like they are going a little further than the typical like Sephora mandated like 5 shades that every brand puts out in order to like appease business daddy. This does feel a little bit more exhaustive than that, and it ought to be because they've been teasing this release for like 2 years, so it better be good. Or else what? I have no actual recourse. They do look small though, which is funny. Like I'm used to like the powder size compact and the bronzer size compact, and these are definitely smaller, but I mean, it's a blush, who cares? They're gonna be $29 each. KOSAS is always like $1 or $2 more than I think they should be. Oh, I should scooch. I should scooch. Hey, wow, okay. I only made it like a few products in before I remembered, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, talc-free is gonna be everything now because that's the lawsuit that is being filed against every brand right now, is about talc and also about their titanium dioxide particle size. And it has to do with like European regulations and stuff like that. Either way, I might be conflating two things, but when things say that they're talc-free, good news, everything is going to be talc-free soon. But yeah, if I don't get these in PR, I will definitely buy a handful of them because this is just something that I personally, as a blush lover and as a KOSAS apologist, I've been waiting on this release for a long time. This totally took me by surprise. The new Haus Labs Color Fuse Longwear Hydrating Glassy Lip and Cheek Blush Balm Stick, a serum-based high pigment blush with more than 70% skincare and proprietary complexes that hydrate and make skin look plumper in a long-wearing glassy balm. So this to me is very similar to a lot of the products that we've seen come out from like the Glossier spin-off brands, right? You know, the kind of like second wave skincare makeup hybrid kind of like dewy face brands like Make Beauty. But however, follow me on this. This feels very youth and like TikTok focused. This is for the people who are much younger and going to Sephora to buy makeup. And it is, I believe, first and foremost, unproblematic. It's not boasting any kind of actives that are going to make your skin UV sensitive. It's not wildly overpriced. They're pretty expensive at $34 a piece, but you know, inflation, what have you. They still want to make their money, but I could see this being a product that was developed specifically for the customer who's dragging their parent in to Sephora and demanding X, Y, and Z product off the shelf. And the parent is like, no, I'm not going to buy you a retinol from Drunk Elephant to the tune of $90, but yes, you can do this balmy blush from Haus Labs. 8 shades that look gorgeous. I am really a fan of Haus Labs shade choices lately. The reformulated powder blushes, the lip glosses, and now these are some beautiful kind of ambitious shades. They've got some kind of grungy ones, they've got some really bold ones, and they've got that lilac that's trending right now that I love so much. I feel like this is both a good, like I said, youth-oriented, unproblematic release, but it's also something I'm personally excited about because it doesn't feel phoned in and gimmicky the way that the Milk Makeup little blush sticks that were all like jelly bendy do. This feels like something that is at least a complete thought. So I will definitely be picking some of these up for sure. Another blush release we have new from Lawless. Meet our new Pinch My Cheek Soft Blur Cream Blush. Designed for makeup lovers, the pigment and skin-like finish of a cream blush with the easy buildable application of a powder. I do love a hybrid formula. One of my favorite hybrid formulas is the one from LYS that is in the little like triangular compact. That is such a beautiful, every skin type friendly blush formula because it's not super dewy. It goes on in this lovely kind of like satin matte finish. And so it does wear like a powder. It's very long wearing. And that's often the struggle that we have with cream blushes is that the pigment doesn't stick around. When you have something that has a little bit more powder to it, it's gonna probably stick around longer because a lot of times that is how we extend the longevity of a cream product is by somehow incorporating powder into it to set it, right? So this being more of a hybrid finish, it's going to be friendlier to different skin types as well as probably longer wearing. And I really like how Annie Lawless has always done like, you know, very on the nose shades, and then she'll do these weird kind of like super bleached out colors, you know, on the lips and now on the cheeks that are almost skin colored for me, you know? And it's like, yes, I need to know what that looks like. There's a reason that I have like 5 of her lip products that I've bought like since the year began. And it's because she's been putting out these weird, indescribable kind of like super desaturated shades that interest me so much. So Lawless has my attention again. Back in 2019, when I was reviewing Only Clean Beauty, Lawless really got my attention because I was like, this is makeup that performs like makeup instead of makeup that performs like you made it in your kitchen, you know? And that's because Annie Lawless has always been a makeup person. She's not like a Glossier girly. She wants like coverage, she wants matte finish, but she also makes like quote unquote clean beauty. And so my interest in them has kind of like waxed and waned, but they really do have my curiosity now more than ever. This does feel like, again, a complete thought, and I will definitely be picking up at least those 2 super weird beige colors because like I gotta know. Plus she prices her stuff pretty well. This doesn't say the price on it, but I bet they're under $30. Oh, Wayne Goss is coming out with new brushes. We love to see it. Wayne has really had a tough time. If you watch some of his older videos, he has come up against some like bad financial dealings and partnering with the wrong people and things like that. And it really yanked the rug out from under him from what I understand in terms of continuing to release his makeup. And I personally love his makeup formulas. I love his blushes. I love his eyeshadow palettes. I love the color stories that he chooses. I love his textures. And And he also is the creator who made the first like very luxurious brush set that I ever bought, that I spent, you know, a lot of my own money on, and I love it. So I love to see him putting out the brushes. I've also learned so much about the shapes that flatter my face from Wayne. He makes makeup very approachable. He just seems like a sweet guy. I'm just happy to see him getting his feet back under him. And I hope we see some more makeup from him. His lipsticks were gorgeous. His lip glosses were gorgeous. That pearl palette needs to come back. Yes, I am a Wayne Goss fan through and through. So I love to see this. Makeup by Mario has released a soft sculpt bronzing and shaping serum. This is something where I am caught between two feelings, right? It's very similar to how I felt with the Armani liquid blushes, where I was like, I love their powder blushes. I did not like their liquid shimmer goo thing. So I don't know on which of those products to base my assumptions going forward on this product. So I just had to try it. Turns out I was kind of like lukewarm on them because they were sort of a combination of the two. But that is very similar to how I feel about these Makeup by Mario liquid bronzers, because I love all the bronzers he's ever done. He is very good at being consistent throughout all of his ranges, at making light the same color in every bronzer range. You know, his colors are very, very consistent, but he's also introduced another shade into this that's even lighter, which is awesome. But also he has put out a couple of complexion products that I did not like. So his foundation, wow. I hate to say, it was just really not good. And the concealer, I didn't end up buying it. I swatched it in store and I was like, there were like so many other things coming out. It was just not of interest to me, and I have not heard anyone else talk about it either. So I'm stuck between, is this a Makeup by Mario complexion product or is it a bronzer, you know? So did I buy them? Yes, I already bought two. They hit the Sephora website this morning and I've already bought the two lightest shades, the fair one and the light, because light has always been the color that worked for me in his bronzers, but I also need to know about the lightest shade. So look forward to that. Oh my gosh, I have to talk about this. I feel like this is like kind of a layup to talk about because I'm not the only person. I'm literally obviously not the only person who's felt this way, but the Glossier Balm Dotcom is so near and dear to my heart. I became a Glossier rep back in 2017 before I really even had a channel proper. Glossier was the first brand to really like tap me as someone who they thought was even like eligible to be an influencer. And I was like, wow, this is like really an honor, you know, to get like a discount code with this brand that I look up to so much. And the Balm.com is such an effective product. I think the last time that I did, it's probably been like 2 years ago, but the last time that I did a lip balm roundup, which there will be another one soon because everybody and their dog has come out with one in the last year or so, but it has always topped my list because the ingredients are so effective. It was not a vegan formula, and so it had lanolin and beeswax in it. It also had petrolatum in it, which a lot of people were against. They're like, it's just Vaseline, it's gonna clog my pores, whatever. The thing is, it has hydration and it also has occlusion, and so that's longevity and also moisture, which is like the combo that I need in order to actually keep my lips from like, you know, falling off of my face because I am such a dry skin queen. So when they reformulated it, I was like, girl, bye. That was the kiss of death of our friends over at Bite Beauty, so to speak. They turned all of their formulas vegan and everybody just said no. They stopped buying it. They were coveting the old ones. They were selling them on eBay, and Bite just dug their heels in and doubled down on it. And it was like, that's not what we want. They just kept releasing vegan formulas. And even though they were releasing every color under the sun and like sending them out to all these creators, they just could not kind of like stay relevant. And I really feel like the reformulation of making their mainstay lip balm vegan was the thing that truly like did them in. And Glossier just doesn't want to be that brand. And so they are going back to the old formula. They are selling off the quote unquote new formula at, I think you can get like 3 for $15 right now on the website. And this also might be, I'm just postulating, but since they're in Sephora now, and they are being scrutinized more on their sales, and also your margins are so much smaller as a brand when you're selling at a place like Sephora, that I could see it being much more important that it sells like hotcakes like it used to. And so I actually really commend them for taking their audience seriously and going back. I also think, I'm not sure if they've announced it yet, but they've hinted at the fact that they also are going to put the Glossier U reformulation back to the old formula. I'm not sure about that yet, but I feel like I've heard rumblings about it here and there, but I am just so excited that like there's no longer this timeline or time limit of like the way that I've been hoarding all of my old Glossier Balm.coms. I have not bought a single one of the new formula because I'm not interested, you know? But I have so many of them that I've collected over the years, and I'm just like, you'll pry them from my cold dead hands the same way people did with the Bite Beauty lip balms, and I'm just so glad that they backed off of it and they're doing the right thing. I think we're all happy. I don't think anybody is going to be mad about that decision. Westman Atelier has also expanded their Baby Cheeks range, so that is their blush range. I have been talking about Westman Atelier since very shortly after Tati first talked about them on her channel, and they were one of her like WTF like expensive brands back when we were astounded by things costing that much. And I will always say about Westman Atelier, yes, it's great that they're innovating. Yes, it's great that they continue to put out products, but their stick formulas are their stars. I really feel like those are their standout products and will always be my favorites in their line. And I also love the squeaky clean liquid lip balms. I wish they still smelled like limoncello. I digress. But expanding their blush shade range is such a great idea that I bought both of them today. So it's Garçon, which is one of the shades that I love in the squeaky clean liquid lip balm. It's kind of this like saturated, like deep mauve. And then they also have this like bright pink that's called Coquette. Was it Coquette? I bought Garçon. Yes, Coquette. Ha, ha. Kidneys. So yeah, I bought both of those. They will be in a future video. I'm very excited about them because those formulas are just delightful. As I've been going through my collection and preparing for declutters coming up, I still have some categories that I need to declutter here on my channel. I have been running across brands that I'm like, oh yeah, like I used to love those. Like I haven't heard from them much lately. And one of them is LH Cosmetics. I was just getting so much PR from them for so long, and they are great products, but I don't love their packaging, and so it's kind of hard to keep them in my mind palace because I'm like, you know what I mean? They don't hit all the marks for me, especially for the price. But now they're coming out with Gloil, which I'm guessing is like a lip gloss oil, for $33. I think all of her stuff is just like a touch too expensive for what it is. Like they are great formulas, but the packaging is always just kind of a little bit chintzier than it should be. And it says instant ultra shiny, comforted and plumped lips, Gloil plus adapts to your skin's pH with a perfect dose of color and a custom rosy glow. pH adjusting is not custom. It is one color. It is a party trick. That's all it is. And that's where I'm going to leave that. I am not willfully, intentionally spending my money on anything else that is pH color adjusting unless it comes from Dior, because Dior puts so little in there that they do a good job of it, but like I'm done. It's just hot pink. And if hot pink looks good on you, wear hot pink. We don't need the party trick. This is the new Danessa Myricks Love is Love All Over Face palette. I cannot help but be influenced by the comments that I'm seeing on the posts about this coming out. And that is that people are like, huh? June is coming. She usually does a Pride release or several. That's not so strange. I think people are mostly confused by like all the other choices that were made here. Why the pans are all different shapes, and why it's like there are 3 colors on the left. One is like a bright silver, one is like a champagne, and then one's just like deep purple. I'm sure there are significances to these things, but at a glance, it's not super obvious. On the right, you have another pan of what looks like a very similar silver color, and it's huge, right next to a peach kind of like split circle kind of thing. I'm sure that there's significance to it. It's just not super obvious to me. And then in the middle, there is kind of like a lowercase I, where the top is like a shimmery black, and then underneath looks like, you know, a rainbow. So I'm not mad at it. And I kind of feel like this is just supposed to be fun. Like maybe we're overthinking it, you know? Like maybe it's just supposed to be fun. It's for you to be able to just like stick your fingers in and have fun with it. I don't want to insult it because again, I don't think I get it totally. Yeah, it's $65, which I think is similar to the price of the Lightwork palette. And no, that thing's like 100 and something. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Y'all, I'm really trying here. Let me read the comments. I was hoping somebody would tell me that there is like some kind of symbolism to the shapes. All the comments are like, what in the ever-loving chaos? So, oh no. I love you, Danessa, but this one doesn't quite touch me. Caliray is the next in line to make a liquid bronzer. So this one is the Sun Drip Luminous Liquid Bronzer with hyaluronic acid and peptides. Calling something, and I know that this is splitting hairs, but I think that from a PR move standpoint, calling something a liquid bronzer versus bronzing drops, I know, but stick with me on this. Bronzing drops imply that you can mix it with something and you can make it adjustable in that sense, and then the brand only has to put out one shade. Versus Caliray calling it a liquid bronzer and putting out one shade. You can't put out a bronzer in one shade these days. You just can't. Like, they have actually gone so far as to use the radioactive word universal and then only put it on light and barely medium skin toned models, which doesn't mean that it wouldn't do something on other models' skin, but I'm sorry, one bronzer shade doesn't work for everybody. That's just science. So I just think it's like just a bad move on their part. Caliray has yet to really impress me. I don't actually know if this is true, but Caliray feels like another venture capital funded kind of brand. I don't know if that's true, but it does feel like they get more chances than most to put out a good product, because nothing that I've tried from them has been anything to write home about. Okay, so Saie Beauty is coming out also with liquid bronzers. I have a feeling we're going to be doing one big liquid bronzer video like we did a couple of years ago when everybody was putting out a cream bronzer. There is this kind of like thing that circulates in the behind the scenes. Like, you have to have like a, you know, a login or something to do it, but that predicts trends. I know that people in the makeup industry and the fashion industry have access to this in a lot of cases, and they know what's coming up. So like, if you see any of your favorite influencers predicting trends, usually they have access to that, and that's where they're getting their predictions from. And they're usually right. And that's also why we're seeing a lot of brands constantly putting out the same kind of product at the same time, is because they are also following the same trend prediction reports. So all to say, I'm here as your girl, our lady of makeup reviews, to still bear with you through the seasons of putting out a ton of the same product. I bought 2 of the Saie liquid bronzers, especially because I like the Dew blush, so I figured I would probably like this. Not always does a blush formula translate well to its corresponding bronzer formula, but that's why we play the game. So I bought Sand and Salt, and we will be using those at some point soon. So yes, I already bought those. Tarte has finally decided to put something out that's not pH color adjusting. So we have the new Maracuja Juicy Plumping Lip Oil. Is anybody even like fact checking to make sure there's Maracuja in this stuff anymore? Or is that just, you know, like Naked or Born This Way at this point? It's a bunch of shades. They look really pretty. The applicator troubles me because it's just kind of this sponge bubble. I just don't want to use that. But at the same time, they're pretty, and I just want to like give Tarte the tiniest little round of applause for putting out something that actually stays the color that it is once you put it on your lips. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Ah, ha, ha, ha. The new Natasha Denona. So I don't know always the case. It's not so much that Jamie doesn't have access to this information over on Makeup on Your Radar. It's that some brands take her posts down. Like, they will copyright claim her and they won't copyright claim Trend Mood. And so Trend Mood will have things sometimes that she doesn't, but that's the reason why. So Natasha Denona is coming out with a new palette, the Golden palette, not to be confused with the Gold palette, the Golden palette. And it's also coming out with a highlighting trio and a Golden Glimmer gloss. I have had a renewed love for Natasha Denona recently, and I definitely am excited about this palette. So eyeshadow palette is $69. It's not one of the massive ones, which I love. The Golden Cheek Trio, I have no interest in. If I'm gonna buy the eyeshadow palette, like that's the only place I would put those colors anyway, and I'm not like a huge highlighter girly, so like, But the Golden Glimmer Gloss, yes. So that will be a video in and of itself, but I also think that I would get a ton of use out of that palette. We've got a warm bedroomized brown, a cool bedroomized brown. We've got a neutral one. We've got 2 golds. We've got 2 bedroomized Bambi colors and a ton of beautiful mattes. Like, I really feel like this is me and my neutral leaning golden undertones in a nutshell. I just feel like it's going to be very, very useful. So I am excited about that, and I will buy that. I'm very excited. And I think that brings us up to date. I think that that's everything. that we hadn't talked about yet that's coming out soon. So hopefully that was fun for y'all and it gives you something to look forward to on my channel, because I personally saw a lot of stuff that I'm spending mental money, and in some cases already spending actual money on for review for y'all. And it does feel, while a lot of them are similar, they still feel exciting and worth comparing. So I hope y'all will stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can keep up with those future reviews. And if you liked this video, please do me a favor and give the video a thumbs up, pass it along to anybody who you think might enjoy it. I'll put a video up here that I think you'll enjoy also if you liked this one. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you to my current subscribers for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.